Hey, it's Keith from Outlaw Speed Shop, and welcome to a special episode where I am building a custom hearse out of a Eddie Bennett supplied casting that he gave me. It was a little worse for wear, and it was perfect for this challenge build for the Dead Sled brand. You can follow them on Instagram and on Facebook. I'll have links in my bio below. I'm planning on trying to incorporate these Jada wheels into it. So I've built a few hearses in the past, and I've got two on the bench right now. This being one of them. Um, excuse me. This is more for they issued a challenge build. So this casting came in literally the day I was going to start looking to build something, and I wasn't sure what to build. I've got quite a few hearse castings that I've been collecting. This one just worked out really well because it was already kind of taken apart. And I don't know, I usually go really ratty, and I just wanted to take a different approach. So the first thing I'm going to do is, to be able to get these wheels to look halfway decent, I need to cut off the front sections where it kind of protrudes a little bit, where the wheels originally would have mounted. And then on the back, I call them the stops that they use so kids don't push too far down on the cars. It'll prevent the axles from bending. I'm going to flatten those out a little bit. As you can see, my favorite tool of choice is a Dremel tool with a cutting disc on it. You can do this with a file as well. And if you see how close my thumb is, no, I didn't cut my thumb off or do any damage. It looks like it's going faster than what it really is, but it could still hurt you, so be careful. I don't want anybody getting hurt because of my ignorance. So, because of the wheels I'm going to use, which you saw on that Lambo, that was from Jada Toys, the axles are much wider than the original Hot Wheels, probably twice the diameter. So I'm just kind of cleaning out those holes where the axles would sit, just so I can get a rough idea how everything's going to look. And right now would be step one of fitting, which I do probably 100 times. I don't show it all on camera because it would get quite monotonous. So here you can kind of see where I'm at, what I'm after for a look. I like to play around with the stance. And again, I'm usually going really ratty on these hearses. But this one, I just really felt with this body style, to do it justice, I really wanted to take it to a different area and go a lot cleaner than I would normally have done. But once everything's in there, the interior chrome piece there that's stock, that kind of sits down and is the top part of the axle holder. So there's no need for axle tubes or anything like that. So it works out really well. You can see it rolls, wheels move, nice and clean. And the wheels actually, in my opinion, look really, really good on this. So the one issue, I can't leave well enough alone, is it's got that one offset headlight, which looks really cool, especially, if I detailed it up. But for the look I was after, which was a nice clean look, it had to go. And it wouldn't be a custom that I did if I didn't cut something off. So I figured I'd cut that off. And again, I'm using my cut-off disc on my Dremel tool, and I'm just cutting it close to the body. I'm not cutting it like trying to get it perfect, because then at that point now I can actually sand it down a little bit. It's always better to take off less than to take off too much. So I'm going to be going back and cleaning this up again. I'm just trying to get as much as I can with the actual cut-off wheel and get it close to that body, because it's got a nice shape in the front, I think, anyway. And there's that one, I understand it, but just that one headlight being off, I get it, but I didn't like it. So I got this Benchworks Toys 3D printed LS motor, twin turbo. So I want to put that in. So again, I'm going completely different than I normally would. The original casting has the center piece there for the engine compartment. I got to cut that out. And then I need to cut out the engine area on the original interior piece. It's all molded as one piece with the motor. So again, cut off wheel. I'm just trying to cut off as close as I can to leave something there for a firewall. And again, I paint all this anyway. So, but again, don't cut off too much, cut off what you need, and if you have to go back and sand it down or file it or cut a little bit more off, it's a hell of a lot easier than I've gone too far. So to get the motor in, obviously the motor is a little bit bigger than the engine compartment on the casting. So there's some parts of that motor that's just not going to be seen because it's going to be buried inside the actual engine compartment. So that means the fan pretty much has to go, or excuse me, the fan pulleys. So that's pretty much what I'm going to cut off. Obviously, you can see I cut off the transmission, and I need to cut just a little bit off of and extend the engine compartment size in the length itself. So all that's going to get done. Then I can send it to the stripper and see. There's a lot you can see once the paint's off that you don't see with the paint on. So to get all the, I citrus strip 90% of the things that I do. I do have aircraft stripper that I use as well. I'm never in a hurry, so I couldn't tell you how long anything takes. I just throw all the castings in a cup and let it sit overnight, sometimes 2 nights before I can get back to stuff. So, um, those things work for me. So obviously the area that I cut a little bit further into the engine compartment to extend it, that whole area needed to be sanded or filed much better than what I had done originally, just because it's just rough edges, and I wanted to keep the smooth lines and the transition going from one area to the other. Then it was the casting lines. This wasn't horrible. There's a couple on the roof, and then a couple on the rear. I guess you call it the rear quarters, where the fins are. Just tedious, just hitting it with a file and going really slow. And then I got to tackle the front again. So I have a sanding disc. I bought a package at Home Depot, and I think this one's 220. It's hard to explain, but I'm not putting any real pressure on the actual casting with the sanding disc. I'm just hitting excuse me, different areas, trying to smooth it out and make both sides the same. And it's just really light, soft, fast movements to try to form the metal or the die cast into something that resembles what it's supposed to look like, and then be able to duplicate it on the other side if I went too far or whatever. So these things have been a lifesaver for me. I love them, and you just got to be careful. So after priming it, I kind of contemplated colors. So I'm going to go with Go Mango, which is a Chrysler color. I painted the engine after priming it. This Tester's Chrome is a base. I really like this stuff. Stuff works out pretty good. I mean, it's not chrome, but it's definitely pretty cool. Then I painted the base black and the interior black as well for base coats. The side pipes, which are integrated into the actual chassis itself, and it's a metal chassis. I ended up, after painting it black, I've used my Molotov chrome pen with the fine tip to get as much as I could and make that look pretty good. I've been having some issues with these pens. I think it's just the humidity in my basement where I work. But I finally got them working good. And that's pretty much all I really did on the chassis was the side pipes, and that's the most important thing, and that's really all there was anyways. So, and again, I try to paint most of my chassis black. That's the Citadel Chaos Black that I use for just about everything. I've been having a hard time finding it, so I'm going to have to probably go on Amazon. Been looking locally. So the detail painting, again, personal choice. Everybody has their own way of doing things. I've been using some of the Games Workshop's Vallejo combination of colors. I just wanted something that was going to stand out. The Go Mango is kind of a orangey red color, and I wanted something that was just going to be a complete in your face, just stand out. So I painted the seat insert blue, and I'm going to also do blue highlights on the motor for like valve covers and shit like that, just to make it kind of stand out. And that was my whole goal with it. There was no rhyme or reason as to why I picked blue. I could have picked any color, I suppose. I just thought blue was contrasty. That's a real word, enough to just kind of grab your eye and break up the actual color combination of the vehicle itself. So I ended up painting the block red, which you really can't see anyways, but um, I'm using um, just various colors that I have at my disposal, and that's the great part about this whole hobby is everything's subjective to, somebody's going to watch this video and tell me how bad I suck, and that's fine. I know how bad I suck, but there's no right, there's no wrong. I do it because I find it fun. I find it enjoyable. It's relaxing. And at the same time, I video it because if anything I do or don't do, people can glean info from it or inspiration or what not to do. Then I'm happy. This isn't a career. I'm not a professional Hot Wheels customizer. Although if I could do it full time, I probably would. And I do like it. I do like the fact that I can shut everything off and paint and customize and cut and not have to think about work or anything that's going on in life for a couple hours a day, a few days a week. So, anyways, so after doing the engine and putzing around with different color combinations of thought and the thought process for the interior, this was the part of the build where, I get to have fun. I know everything fits. I know when I put everything together, it is not going to be an issue. Um, it's a little stressful because now everything's painted, and obviously, if you screw up, which I've been doing a lot of lately, at that final stage, just something always seems to go wrong lately, and I'm not sure what it is, or it's just a black cloud hanging over my head, which is fine. But you know, you can't take this shit too seriously, and you roll with it, and that's why a few people have made mention that I'm not putting out as much content as I was maybe a year ago or 6 months ago. Well, with A, work's been busy. B, I've been having issues as far as trying to creative blocks, and then at the same time, certain castings just aren't coming out the way I want. So I'm redoing them a lot, and that just takes time. So, if this is becoming something where it's an aggravation for me, then I just back off for a little while, and then I look forward to getting back into it. So I taped everything off, and I'm going to paint the Landau roof black. It was originally all one solid color. I kind of thought having the black would be cool, but instead of leaving it matte, I'm going to clear it. So there's the motor. There's the casting. I put the Landau bars. I put a little bit of chrome on it for my chrome pen. Now I'm going to hit it with my Automotive 2K Clear. This is the only clear I use. I love it. Been using it for a couple years now. Never had a problem. But those are pretty much the pieces that I'm going to be putting back together. This is pretty simple. It's not super complicated, but there's 4 coats of the clear. I also cleared the motor as well. And you can kind of see right there the red that I painted for the block. And no, I didn't paint underneath it. It's going to get glued to the base. If you like what you see, make sure you subscribe. And if you ring the bell and click the like button. This is what I ended up with. I think it came out really, really cool. I love the wheels, the Jada wheels on this. They came out, it just really sets it apart. There's just something about this thing that I really, really dig. Maybe because I'm so used to doing these things as like rat rod style, post-apocalyptic, really beaten casting. So to do one that's a little on the shinier side, and it was a nice change for me anyway. So. And it is wild. It was a wild casting to begin with, and by adding the big ass wheels, I think it really made a huge difference. So I'm going to end up sending this to them anyways, just because I'm not going to do anything with it, and I think it's kind of cool, and I got to send them another one anyways. So make sure you check out the Dead Sled branch. I'll have all the links in the description down below. They have a bunch of cool stuff. Make sure you hit them up. And I will show you a few more videos or pictures here, and that's about it. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. I will look forward to reading them and try to respond, and I will catch you on the next one.